जय राधा माधव। हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारे। जय गिरिवरधारे। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना। जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना। जय यशोदानंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना। जय यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय यमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. That was quite a workout. Getting the harmonium to work, it's good. You need to try it. Each and every one of you should try it out at some point in time. It's one heck of a workout. But thank you again, Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming here and giving us your valuable time, especially on a Sunday evening, not just a Sunday evening, but a cold Sunday evening. So thank you so much for coming in here. I think you can move a little closer so that it's less intimidating for me. Balaram Prasad Prabhu, please come forward. And likewise, Mataji, if you all can come a little closer, that will be very helpful. If nothing at all, at least the warmth will be more perceivable. Okay. So, let me just start. So, Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yogana. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 14. You can repeat after me once. We can do it once. Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Davati Padantakam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutakadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavito Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is Sangeeta Mataji here? Is anyone here from the Kapoor family? I don't believe. She's in India. So a couple of weeks ago, I was with my family at one of our congregation members' home to celebrate, the grand finale of the Kartik month of the Damodar Leela. And we had some very nice kirtan. We had a pretty decent gathering as well of various congregation members and some that were even outside of the congregation. And just before we started our Damodar Ashrika, I was asked to, impromptu give a couple of words on the occasion. And believe it or not, to my utter disbelief actually, and my disappointment, and to the disappointment of everyone who was there in the gathering, I completely blacked out. I fumbled. I just couldn't get myself together. Get myself together. And so as I usually do, once I got home, I was reflecting on what had happened, what I had said. I was completely out of place. I was trying to save my face. I was trying to, get away from the embarrassment. But at the same time, it was an eye-opener for me. And I realized that it was something that I was completely consumed with prior to coming for the program. That was still going through my head. My wheels were still spinning in this empty space. And so I was completely out of the zone. I was simply not in the zone. And when you're not in the zone is when you're not thinking about Krishna. And when you don't remember Krishna, what happens? You're almost instantaneously transported into his external energy. Right? And then you have no protection there. And so that's basically what happened. I was completely out of place. And once I was out of that protection, out of that shelter, I was in this material world, in the shelter of the material world, which is nothing but full of anxiety, full of fear, and so on. In fact, the Srimad Bhagavatam says all it takes is just 1/20th of a second for us to completely get engrossed and absorbed in the external energy, which is otherwise Maya. And that's a very dangerous situation, and we'll talk a little more about it. It's like this. Even our closest people, our kith and kin, our family, our friends, even with the best of intentions, even with the utmost love that they have for us, sometimes even they cannot help us. We are in those kinds of situations. Sometimes very trying situations, sometimes very critical situations, sometimes life and death situations. Even they cannot help us. Recently, well, I shouldn't say recently, but a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, when my mother was about to leave her body, Ruchira and I went to India, spent time with her. And we gave her everything we could, at least we thought at that point in time, and it wasn't helping. The doctors had given up. There was nothing that they could do. It was time for her to leave her body. So the best thing we could do was, guess what? We chanted with her. We spent hours and hours and hours chanting with her, and she continued to chant. Even through everything that she went through, she was chanting with us loudly. She was giving it her all. That's all we can do. But ultimately, we have and take the protection of Krishna. So remembrance of Krishna is very, very, very important, and that's what I'd like to talk about today. Okay. So his shelter, like I said, you're either in his shelter or you're completely out of it, meaning you're in the external energy. And in his shelter, you get everything that you want, everything that you need. Like one of my god brothers would say, Krishna knows exactly what we need. He knows exactly when we need it, how much we need it, and what we deserve is exactly what we get. So you get health, wealth, everything that you ask for, one way. If you deserve it, and if Krishna believes you should get it, you will get it. It's all there in his protection. When you're in his shelter, there's nothing that we need to ask for. There's nothing extra that we need to ask for, because the shelter is providing everything. Even love, and most importantly, love. Because Krishna's love is unconditional. In fact, the name Krishna itself is all attractive, right? So he is that source of attractiveness. He pulls us towards him if we can only, look in his direction. So that all attractiveness, that all love is unconditional, and that's coming from Krishna no matter what, and it's there. It's just for us to be able to recognize that, realize that, and do something about it. Now, conversely, if you look at it, if you're not in Krishna's shelter, then you're in his external energy. And the external energy, as we know, is full of uncertainty, full of fear, full of anxieties, and we are left all alone to put those fires out, right? So 1 minute it's going up, and the next minute it's going down. It's like a roller coaster ride. And pretty soon, life becomes a nightmare. The world becomes a dark place, and life becomes a nightmare. And when things go wrong, you can understand the reason why we say, oh, damn it, damn that, damn this, damn that. That's because it is damnation. Friends become foes, foes become demons. It just becomes a horrible situation to be in. And we all go through circumstances. It's not like it happens all the time, every time. But again, it's a complex process of karma, and where we are and where our consciousness is invested in, that causes a lot of this external energy to act on us. So the modes are constantly acting on us, the modes of material nature. So when we go through situations like that, we are not thinking about Krishna at that point. We're so lost and absorbed in the external energy that the mind is not in a situation or in a state where it can actually think about Krishna. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yomam pasyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pasyati. He says, for those who see me everywhere and who see everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. See that? This is Krishna's personal word. He is giving us his guarantee. He is saying, you think about me, you see me in everything. I am never lost to you, and you are never lost to me. And what's the best way, we can remember Krishna? Taking his names, the holy names of Krishna, because there is no difference between his name, his form, his qualities, and his pastimes. So the Maha Mantra is so special, and for us to be given this valuable opportunity of taking the human life is something that we should not discount by any means. This is something that we should be taking very, very seriously every moment, every minute, every day of our lives. Otherwise, we're going to be, with every passing year, we're only going to be getting 1 year or 1 day closer to death, as opposed to getting 1 year or 1 day closer to eternal life in the spiritual world, which is full of bliss, right? So Prabhupada has given us, our acharyas have given us, the scriptures have given us this beautiful Mahamantra, Krishna himself. So just by chanting the Mahamantra every day, with a sense of devotion, a sense of belonging, a sense of crying out to Krishna, is in itself a way of remembering Krishna. Krishna is there with us that very instant. In fact, it is said that if you chant with all the possible devotion that you have in your heart, with all the love in your heart, Krishna is dancing on the tip of your tongue. That's what the acharyas say. So it's that powerful. And Krishna, in spite of who he is, the supreme, absolute, supreme personality, The moment we chant His name, He's with us. That's the beauty. So a little story just to drive this point home. So that there was this Brahmana during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time. I believe it was, I forget the name now. What's his name? Shvetambar Brahmachari, that was his name. He was just an ordinary beggar in Navadvip. And all he would do was chant all the time. And he would chant the names of the Lord day in and day out with so much love and so much devotion. But people, even though they noticed it, they would think, this guy is crazy, he's just running around, he's just a beggar, what do we care? And he never had anything, no belongings, obviously, because he was a beggar. And even when people did give him something, they would give him things that they didn't want, right? Almost things that they would reject, throw away, they would give it to him. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for this brahmachari, the beggar, one day, and he said, you've been appearing birth after birth after birth. I've known you for so many births. And in every birth, you've always been begging. And the begging here, obviously, is begging for Krishna's mercy, Krishna's association. And as he was speaking, he said, see, in your previous life, you were Sudama. And I stole your, chipped rice. You didn't have anything to give me, but I stole it from you. You came there as a beggar. But I really appreciated your devotion. And as he was saying that, he reached out into this beggar's pocket, which was half torn, of course, and pulled out some rice with a lot of husk and dirt in it. Immediately, this beggar cried out aloud and said, Mahaprabhu, please don't do this to me. That rice is rice that people have discarded. They've thrown away. It's chipped. It's dirty. It has husk on it. It's not even tasteful. Please don't embarrass me. Don't do this to me. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, put it in his mouth and he was in total ecstasy. He was relishing every single chipped rice, a morsel of chipped rice. And so he was so happy that he gave this beggar a benediction, saying that I am blessing you with eternal devotional service. And that's the highest form. That's the perfection of life that we all are and should be striving toward. Eternal devotional service. That is pure love for Krishna. Pure love. It's not contaminated by any means. So many a times, again, reflecting again on my own personal experiences, on a hot summer day, you find yourself pretty thirsty and you're looking for that, cold drink. And I find myself standing in front of the refrigerator trying to get myself a glass of cold water. And then as I start sipping it slowly, I can feel, the cold water is slowly making its way through the back of my throat. And it's quenching my throat and quenching my thirst as it makes its way down. And when that happens, I can feel the life airs in my body coming back again. And I can feel the life coming back in my body, otherwise, dry. And at that point, I'm thinking about Krishna. That particular line that, which Krishna says, a statement that he makes in the Bhagavad Gita, where he says, I am the taste of the water. And for those of you who appreciate the language, English language, he didn't say taste in the water, he said taste of the water. And that kind of resonated so much with me because it indicates that it's not something that you add to the water. It's not like you're adding sugar to make the water so much more tasteful or tasty. It's not like you're adding honey to the water or you're adding something to the water to make it tasty. Krishna is saying, I'm the taste of the water, so that it's intrinsically the property of the water. It's saying that water in its purest form, the taste of that water is Krishna. And Krishna is saying it himself. So, That's amazing. So even as you're drinking water, if you can think, so what I'm getting to is, it's not that difficult. Even as you're doing simple things, otherwise mundane things, you find reasons, find scriptural references, find experiences, things that have resonated with you over the years that will remind you of Krishna. And you will see the difference. You will see how beautiful that whole experience becomes. The water that would have been otherwise, yes, cold water quenching your throat, now all of a sudden it's water that's Krishna, that's you're thinking about. It makes you feel so good. I mean, it's an experience that you have to feel for yourself, and you'll see the difference. So last weekend, if you remember, we had a terrible snowfall, right? I mean, that was our first snowfall. We had a few inches of snow, but that was enough to kind of destabilize, how things happen in the city. The roads are still jammed and traffic is bad. You find cars off the road. It's the first snow. What do you expect, right? Things are not going well. You get to the airport and you find out about 2,000 flights have been cancelled, and the place is like a zoo. Everyone is climbing over everyone else. People are bouncing off of the ceilings practically in terms of their emotion. There's no place to lie down, sit, or even stand for that matter. Yeah, it's just packed. And people are looking very distraught. People are looking to find ways to comfort themselves. So I was there, I was taking a flight to New York, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, looks like my flight's going to be cancelled. And as I was standing in line, we were waiting for quite some time standing in line because they were not sure the plane was coming in. And while I was doing that, I was just casually looking around. Now look, think about the airport, right? I mean, that's an interesting place to me. I just love to observe people as well. When you go to the airport, you see all kinds of people. Happy people, sad people, angry people. People who are just angry for no reason at all. I mean, they just want to pick on you and just be mean to you. Then there are people who are really, they're there with a purpose. As parents, they're taking care of the children. The kids are flying all over the place, and they have gobs and gobs of energy, and they're trying to hold them back. And then you find rich people, pulling their flashy Gucci bags, and then you find, in contrast, you find students with beat-up backpacks walking around, right? I mean, so it's a complete diversity out there that you see and you feel. It's pretty amazing an experience, just sitting there and watching, life go by, and you're just being a bystander there for a second. You just step back and you see how it's happening, and you're not a part of it, but you're just standing out and you're looking at the whole picture moving in front of you. It's such a funny situation, and it has a lot of profound insights that the whole experience brings to you. So as I was doing that, I noticed that there was this wine bar right next to the gate, and it was very nicely appointed, meaning it had beautiful, nice bar with nice high stools and chandeliers. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen it in the airport, in O'Hare Airport in Terminal C. And as I was watching that, I saw people sitting there. There were men and women propped up on these high stools, sipping away their wine. And I was looking at their, expressions as well. And I could see, some were in active conversation, some were, kind of lost. They were just looking into into space. Perhaps, their minds were all filled with, flooded with all kinds of thoughts. And, some people were just enjoying the wine, and they were just, doing their thing. And then I saw an interesting sign which there that said, "Wine a bit and you'll feel better." So I was thinking to myself, really? So are you telling me that I'm missing something, or this is true? I mean, where people can actually unwind, but they look pretty blissful. They seem to be pretty happy about what they were doing. They seem to be, at least for the time being, they were away from the stresses of their life. They seem to have forgotten that it had snowed and planes were cancelled, their flights were cancelled. They may or may not get home that particular day. So as I was watching this, I was just thinking, is this really true? Can the wine really do this? Can it really unwind you? Can it really make you feel better? As I was validating that, I noticed there was, not noticed, but there was a loud noise. And and the moment you hear a loud noise these days, especially in public places, your first thought is the worst, right? There are bullets flying all over the place, or there's a bomb going off someplace. You don't know. And especially when people are so frustrated with all the anxiety, the things that are happening in the airport, the circumstances. You never know which crazy is walking around with what and doing what, right? And you could be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So, but here, fortunately, none of that was happening. So let me save you the drama there. There was this lady who just moments ago was sipping away her wine. She seemed to be in total bliss. Total bliss. Here she was on the phone, and she was raising her voice, using expletives like you won't believe it. And she was screaming at this person on the other side. Obviously, we couldn't see the person on the other side, but I'm sure that person was not in a happy situation. This lady definitely was not. And so I was just thinking to myself, oh my God, and I saw people around her, some people initially raised their eyebrows, some people were in total disgust, some people were in total fear, some people even stood up and walked away. So this lady seemed to be completely oblivious to that whole scene. It was just her. That's it. She on the phone with this person on the other side. And what was blissful just a moment ago, she was just completely on the opposite side. She was screaming her head off. So this was kind of a unnerving situation, unpleasant. It created so much unpleasantness right then and there that I was thinking, oh my God, there you go. That's the effect of the wine. So yeah, so 1 minute that's how our external energy works. That's Krishna's energy. But that energy is energy where, he's created as a sandbox, a playground for us to be able to exercise our desires, our feelings for enjoyment. All right? So that's where we can do our nonsense, and we can actually play around. But it doesn't go without any consequence, right? Action has a reaction as well. So the external energy, whereas the internal potency, on the other hand, is all about pure love and true bliss, right? And there are no karmic reactions when you're engaged in the internal potency of the Lord. Now, if you look at it, I have this pretty supercar up there. Some of you can relate to it. Some of you are probably even driving it. But again, this is something, like the external energy that I was talking about. It can give you a high. It can take you from 0 to 100 in, less than 3 seconds. 2.6, I think some of the supercars, this one is one such car which can go in like 2.6 seconds from 0 to 100 miles an hour. But just as external energy can take you, Maya can take you up there and give you that high, give you that kick, it can also give you a kick, bringing you down all the way from 100 to a 0. Right? We've seen that also happen. Before you know it, everything is going fine, and then all of a sudden, you're faced with an accident. You find yourself in a hospital bed, God forbid. Or like the lady who was having the wine and enjoying herself, and next minute she is screaming at everything. Right? So that's the beauty of external energy. Okay. So let's talk about how it used to be when our parents and grandparents, for some of us, some of our great-grandparents used to travel from point A to point B. Now, back then, the motor car was still not in vogue. Neither was it readily available, nor was it affordable. So people used horses and buggies, and you've seen this. Whether it's in the United States or even in other parts of the world, right? They would use primitive forms of transportation to get from point A to point B. Now think about this. Just put yourself in that situation where our grandparents and parents would travel just to get to another point or another village, and they would have to go through the forest. They would have to go through, get off the beaten path sometimes. and get through. It was almost like an adventure because you never knew what was waiting and hiding for you. It could be the highway robber. It could be some wildlife or animal just, waiting to spring at you. So the concern that they had was not so much about the comfort, but it was more about, are we going to make it in one piece? True? Yeah. Safety was of concern at that point in time. It was not so much about the comfort. Of course, comfort came in later, but at that point in time, it was really, how do we avoid all of these dangers? It's almost like it was like an adventure for them to get. You really had to be mentally and physically prepared to be able to travel in those days. Now after that changed quite a bit, thankfully. And my time, I can speak for myself. I see a lot of young folks here, so I cannot speak for all of you at this point. But I can say that, when I was growing up, when we would go during our summer vacation, especially, summer vacations were always fun. 3 months of just pure enjoyment. Pure enjoyment for us and pure chaos. We would go to our grandmother's place or, our uncle or aunt that lived in the village someplace. So we used to live in the city, but we would go. It was like a complete break for us. From morning to evening, we would be playing and playing and playing and playing, and all our cousins would meet. And I'll tell you, I come from a very, very large, my mother's side, she was the 13th child. So she had about, so all the siblings and their children, and some of them were so old, they were older than my mother herself. So then we ended up with kids of all ages. I mean, I had close to 100 cousins. And we would have such a great time playing. We would play, we would have a cricket team, we would have a football team, we would have a team that would cook with some play utensils. Yeah, all kinds of fun. And in between, of course, there would be all the hangama, that someone falls, breaks their head, bleeding, and everybody's coming there. All that happens. So all that was going on. But one thing that that was a major concern for me personally, especially, was would there be running water, right? Because in those places, in those times, even having a modern bathroom as we would expect today by default was something that was out of the ordinary. To answer nature's call, we would have to go into the fields. We would literally, nature's call, I guess that's the reason why they call it nature's call. You really have to have your call in the nature. You don't know what's out there. You have to take a little lota with you. You know what a lota is, right? So you got to walk around with those things. You have to go out in the fields. And so that used to be the only distasteful time of the day. But beyond that, it was pure fun. We would just enjoy ourselves doing what we did. Okay, fast forward a little more, and maybe this is something that you would relate to, is, when we travel, or, as the kids were growing up, our kids would ask first thing, is there Wi-Fi? They're not concerned about the horse and buggy. They're not concerned about the safety, security, or anything, because now it's taken. It's a given. But it's more about the, do we have connectivity? Can I play my video game? Can I get on my social media and talk to my friends? Can I connect with them? So it's funny how times have changed. And you'll see some interesting expressions. Actually, I was thinking of other pictures, but but I preferred to get some of these. So you have people not just playing video games in front of their own TV. Now you have people participating from around the world, or they could be in different places for that matter. And that's no big deal now, right? It's almost like a given. It's like, yeah, fine. We know, okay, so you're playing, okay, you're killing somebody somewhere in Timbuktu, and the person is sitting in China or someplace. All while you're sitting in front of your video console, in front of your TV, and you're able to speak, collaborate, and play. Now, the issue is marketing as you know it. All this is another interesting part. So I'm going to digress a little bit, but with a point in mind. I'm trying to bring your focus to what all is happening in the external energy of Krishna. External energy also belongs to Krishna. But he's given us that. Like I said, it's a sandbox. We're playing and having so much fun in that sandbox, that stupid sandbox, that we're actually dousing ourselves with a lot of sand in our mouths in our eyes, in our ears, and we don't even realize we're still playing. We're still having fun. Mom will take care of it when we get home. Right? So it's like that. So we're still thinking, oh, okay, Krishna will take care of us later. For now, this is my time to play in the sandbox. I'm going to play. So that's what this whole external energy is all about. Now, marketing is creating, the sole objective of marketing is to create a need where there isn't. Okay? That's what they, the most successful marketers will tell you, we were able to give you something that you really didn't need in the first place. They're not going to say that, but that's what. I mean, if you think about it, right? I mean, do we really need an Apple Watch to tell us how many steps we've taken? How much have I slept last night? Did I blink? Did I not blink? Did I turn around? Was I tossing and turning in my bed? I mean, this is crazy. The other day I was driving back from Milwaukee at the end of this long work week, and then I started to feel sleepy. So as I was falling asleep while driving back, suddenly I heard this loud beep, 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 beep going on, and I was like, it woke me up. And when I woke up, the first sign that I saw there was on the display saying, hey, I think you need a break. Why don't you get yourself a coffee? That's what my car's telling me. I'm like, really? That's creepy. My car's actually reading my eyes and telling me, hey, am I awake or not awake? So, this is what marketing is doing to us. It's giving us in all these devices, these gadgets, these playthings, just so that it gets a share of our minds and our pockets as well, right? And once we get into that, now think about it, right? Wherever you go, people, fortunately, you're extremely well behaved. But outside of this environment, people are on their phones, right? They're constantly looking. It doesn't matter where you are, who they are. They could be rich, they could be poor, they could be man, woman, it could be any demographic. They almost all have a phone. And they're all staring and looking at it as though their life depended on it. Which is strange. I mean, if you look 10 years ago, we were nothing close to this. But as of 2016, the number of mobile phones that are in play today have far exceeded the number of laptops in anyone's household or across all households. That's how pervasive this whole notion of being connected is today. And marketeers dwell on that. They capitalize on that. Every time you interact with your phone, they're there to say, hey, we've got a coupon here, $10 off or $1 off or even 50 cents off. Here, take it. And most times we kind of dismiss it, but then sometimes we want to know more about what's going on, right? And things are changing so much that staying connected is the way to be. Whether you're at work, you're at school, you're in a bus stop, you're in the airport, wherever you are, you're connected. So much so, mobility has become the way to go. Guess what? You will not believe this. This is actually a fact. People in China are using mobility to a point they don't have cash in their pockets. Okay? Everything is done online. So they drive by or drive through a fast food and they just flash their phone there, and it registers how much, what they bought, and the money is deducted. So as a result, people don't have cash. Now, who are the ones who are going to get affected? The beggars. There's no cash to give, man, and people are, when the beggars, when you go to them and say, hey, I don't have cash, before we would say we don't have change. People from India can relate to that. Now, we can't even say that. We can't even say, hey, I don't have cash. So the beggars have become smarter now. They actually, in China, today's CNN, I don't know if you get a chance, go back and see it. There was an episode where we're talking specifically how China is completely leapfrogging the US in artificial intelligence. They're doing all of these wonderful things that we here in the US have been slogging over the last 3-4 decades that I know of. Both my wife and I were, on the AI side 30 years ago. But it was all in the labs. It was all in research or, in academic institutions and stuff. But today everyone's talking about AI. Guess what? The Chinese are the first ones who could actually capitalize on that and apply it in various devices. So everything is talking to everything. People are talking to machines People are talking to people, people are talking to machines as well. But here now the beggars know, hey, we need to also be smart. So they're using their phones. They have a QR code on it. So you're driving by. Now you can't say you don't have cash in your pocket or change. You just use your phone, use the QR code that they have, and the money is deposited. Now don't ask me, how beggars have bank accounts and how the money actually gets transferred. I haven't got into that. And like I said, it's not just people talking to people, people talking to machines. We all are familiar with this. I'm sure many of us have these lying around. So much so that, these things are making it even more convenient for us to do what we have to do, especially the millennials, who don't even have to step out of their homes anymore. They just have to tell Alexa, hey Alexa, I need this, and it's there. A drone is coming, and within a few hours, it's out there in front of your front door, and you have what you need. Right, hey Mangi? So much so there's going to be a time when even dogs are going to be able to speak to Alexa, and Alexa will fulfill, their favorite food from their favorite pet restaurant. Who knows? Anything can happen. That's what marketing does. They create a need where you don't have one, right? So that's how this external energy is acting on us. And the whole point is we're staying connected all the time. We're connected. No matter where we are, we're on. Our phones are on. Even when we're sleeping, our phones are on. And believe me, some of us even get up in the middle of the night, to just check and see, hey, who responded to my social media post? I'm sure. So, marketers call each and every one of those interactions moments of truth. That's a technical term. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that. Can I have a show of hands? Anyone familiar with? Yes, I thought Prabhu would definitely put his hand up. Anyone else? So these are moments of truth, right, as you know. So moments of truth are defined as an interaction that we have with the brand. It could be anything, whether it's Apple or whatever it is, right? A car, Mercedes, whatever it is. So every line, whether you're on your phone, whether you're chatting, whether you're in the store, whether you're in the warehouse, whether you're at home, wherever you are, whatever you're doing in terms of looking at a product, considering a purchase, or actually making the purchase, or shouting at that person after sales that things didn't work the way they were. All of those interactions are called moments of truth. Now, every moment of truth generates data. Marketeers are very hungry for that data, and they want to get that data from you because they get to know more about you. And once they have that data, then they can actually analyze, use all these various wonderful technologies like AI and stuff like that to be able to come up with insights and give you more things to buy, to engage you further in this whole drama, right? And we don't even have a clue. We're happily playing along. We're such suckers that we will play along. We will go. We will continue to invest all our time, effort, money, savings in that. Now again, keep that in mind. Moments of truth. Now what is happening is, like I said, we're always on. We're connected as a result. What we're forgetting, and I'll tell you, the moments of truth couldn't be further away from reality. Like I said, this is all happening on the external energy side in this material world. The moment we start investing money, and our time and our consciousness there, we are on our own. There's no one to protect us. Like I said, we are fighting those fires ourselves. Some of us can be successful sometimes. Some of us are not successful. Some of us can be successful at times, but again, it depends. But no one can be successful all the time, right? Trying to put those fires out. Because these are intense. We're just tiny little beings in this entire universe, this world. So, our consciousness should instead, and I'm saying this is something that I'm thinking, I'm sure you will agree, these are not moments of truth, but instead, let's call them moments of absolute truth, right? What is absolute truth? For a devotee, absolute truth is Krishna. And the aspects of Krishna as Bhagavan, as the ultimate God, as the ultimate Supreme Personality. And the other aspect is his effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti. and then his third aspect, which is the Paramatma, as Krishna in each and every one of us, guiding us. The thing is, we should be connecting to Krishna, and we should always stay connected. We should always be on. That's the ideal situation. When you get to that point, then nothing can go wrong. So Krishna says, Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabhapartha nitya yuktasya yogina. What is he saying? He's telling Arjuna, he's saying, it's very easy to obtain me. Very easy to obtain me. All you have to do is remember me. Yomam smarati nityashaha. He is not saying you need to stand on your head for 2000 years. He is not saying you need to get into these fancy yoga poses or do all of these things. He's not telling you to do any severe austerities even, for that matter. If you think about the pastimes that we see or read or hear in the scriptures, little boys of age 5 have, like Prahlad Maharaj, the amount of austerity that he had to go through by father, right? But one thing that kept him alive throughout and with no fear was his remembrance of Krishna. He was thrown in a pit of snakes. He was thrown into a pot of boiling water. He was thrown off of a hill with a rock tied to his body. But yet he came out unscathed. Why? Because he was completely surrendered to Krishna. He was always thinking of Krishna. He was always on. He was connected. And there are several such stories that that we can talk about from the scriptures, we can refer to. But it all boils down to one thing, which is remembrance of Krishna. As long as we remember Krishna, no matter what we're doing, whether we're cooking, we're going to school, we're working, we're flying, whatever we're doing, think of Krishna. As long as you remember Krishna, you're automatically in his protection, and he will take care of you, every bit of it. And the beauty of it is, he says, if you just remember me, you obtain me, you attain me. And if you attain Krishna, what do we need? We don't need anything else. It's the greatest treasure that we can have. Not only for this life, this body and this life go together, but for the soul, it's eternal. We will be immediately transported into the spiritual world, and that's it. We will never come back. So I'd like to end at this point. Is Shatarupa Mataji here? She had an announcement to make. Can you please? Okay, can someone please call her, let her know, because she needed some time to talk about Gita Jayanti. I believe she has an announcement. But if there's anything that I would like for you to take away with you, just one takeaway. This takeaway is not only for now, but it's forever. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Is there any question for Prabhu? Prabhu didn't. Is there anybody else want to ask any question? Because this was such a such a well-connected topic, and Prabhu, wonderful. Thank you so much. Give a loud Hari Bol to Prabhu. Thank you. So, like every Sunday, we put this program so that every one of us can come and participate, get association, do chanting, listen to the lectures, and then have wonderful prasadam. and these prasadam are possible only through some kind donations from many one of you. So every week we have donors who come forward, and in fact this is one of the way they find the reason to connect with Krishna. So this Sunday we have 3 sponsorship. The very first one we have is remembrance, and exactly Sri Devi Raghaprabhu family remembering Father Govinda Rao Prabhu, and so they are trying to remember their fathers. And they were here, Prabhu, seeking the Krishna's blessing for his kid Adit and Tanya. They were there, Prabhu. They are very, very kind, and almost every month they provide their support. And also we have a wonderful other reason as well. The Niranjana SNV Niranjana Rao Prabhu, on the occasion of, I guess, their marriage anniversary, they are sponsoring the Sunday feast. Are you guys here? Are the families here today? Yeah. So we have prasadam for. Can you So during this time of the year, we have 2-3 wonderful programs. One, we are celebrating Gita Jayanti, that is starting from December 18th. And if I recall the last Gita Jayanti, it was, we did Gita reading and we did Yagna, and it was like very well participated. Almost the hall was full. So let's all join together same way. Let's do this program. This is one occasion, 3.5 hours we read complete Gita. So please come and participate. MSF, like every month, is being organized. I think it's on next Saturday, right, Madhuri? December 15th. It's in Fox Valley Mall. So it's again, it's indoor, and it's a great way to come and join the team. 1 to 2 p.m. Fox Valley Mall next Saturday. The one very, very important announcement what we have is every year, I guess most of you know our another temple, Kisori, which is in Chicago. We have a Christmas retreat by none other than our Rompada Swami Maharaj. He leads that program, and it's a very, very important program. And this year, I guess, is very much focused on kids and 7+ years and older. And this program starts from Saturday 21st. I guess that's Friday evening, and goes. I guess Friday evening, then goes Saturday and Sunday and Monday. So about 3.5 day program is full of kirtan, lecture, music, and many things. So there's a special request for all of us to come and participate, and this program, during this program, the food is provided, the breakfast is provided, dinner, snacks, everything is provided, I guess. And this is a program which ultimately, when you do so much, there is a little bit of cost involved. And not only that, to ensure that you are really committed to this program, because it takes a lot of effort for people to put together. So there is a small donation. And to make it further easy, today if you register, it has a discounted price of just $60 per person. So Shruti is sitting outside. She's taking the registration. I encourage every one of you, please join, and also let others come and participate. If you can't do entire program, is a portion of program also good? Yeah, so you can also pay per day. So you just do a portion program, but it's a kind of nice way to give some donation to temple. So please join us. If you have any question, Mukunda is there, Shruti is here, we can talk. But please come and participate. So again, next Sunday we'll have same program. Please come and participate. We still look forward for your support. If you are any inspired to do Sunday, Sunday feast program, so please talk to our Prabhu or me. And last but not the least, this is the month of December. We are running our fundraising campaign. We will be sending email. We are sending email. We are talking to the people. As I announced last week during the Facebook Giving Tuesday, we raised that 45,000 around, and we are waiting for to know what is our matching. So that's nice of you. Many of you had participated, so thank you so much. But at the same time, think through whatever other ways, if you can, if anybody else can, please, help us. This is the month of December. In this country, people get charitable, so they want, and ultimately you get tax benefit, right? So please see me. If any way you can help me, I will be looking forward to your support. So with that, thank you so much. Please take blessing and go have prasadam downstairs. Thank you. Sorry? Oh yeah, thank you so much. Thanks very much. So every time, every sponsors, we pray for their cause, and so please join me and chant with me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much.